So I wanted to show inside our Moving Beyond the Page, and this is level for ages 5 to 7. So we did this for kindergarten, and there's 4 concepts in this curriculum. So each concept has, I think, 3 units to it as well that all interrelate to the bigger concept that you're learning about. So in the 5 to 7, there's environment, patterns, change, and similarities and differences. So if you buy the whole package, you get the teacher's manual and the student book for each, or you can also just buy one concept individually. And then there's also the books. This is a literature-based curriculum, and we are now doing 6 to 8, and we did not buy the books for that. We are just getting them from the library or supplementing with books that we have for each topic. So your teacher manual has a table of contents and then explains a little bit about how this curriculum works. And then at the very beginning, there is all the required books and materials for each unit. So in this one, the first unit is habitats and homes, and then weather, and then community, and it's going to tell you all the things that you need, so you can acquire those and have those ready when you get to those lessons. And then just to take a look at these lessons, the teacher manual is really fantastic. Every day it talks about what you're going to explore that day, what concepts, what questions. It has facts or definitions for the day, what your child's going to be working on, the materials that you need, and then it has step-by-step instructions for each activity. So what book you're going to read to your child, what questions you're going to ask them. If you're doing an activity, it gives you what to tell your child so that they understand the concept and how it relates to what you're learning that day. And this teacher manual is really fantastic. It does a great job at giving step-by-step instructions. And then, so every day, it does that for every day. Some days are 2-day projects, so it'll have certain activities you do on day 1 and on day 2. And then a look at the student manual, or the student workbook. So this curriculum is for an age range, so this one's for 5 to 7. And that being the case, most activities have an option 1 for your younger child, and then an option 2 if you are doing this with an older child or a more advanced child. So we did this. This was like the first lesson of the first unit when we started kindergarten. So option 1 was they were just filling in the first letter of the word. And then option 2 would be they would write the word itself. And then as you go through this one also has handwriting, the kindergarten version does. We used a separate handwriting curriculum as well. We used handwriting without tears. But here again is another one where for the younger student, they're just filling in the missing letters. And then the older student could write the words by themselves. So this is all about maps. Next, in this concept of environment, we learned about habitats. And so we were learning about animals and all the different habitats. And again, it has 2 options for most of the activities. So when you color and put the animals in their habitat, this one you would draw the habitat around the animal. Moving back, let's see what else. We learned about seasons and the weather and environments. Measuring temperature. So these are all very, even when you're learning about, I don't know, things like math and science in these, they incorporate language arts in them as well. So it's a really well-rounded and inclusive curriculum, which is why I really like it. So every concept has a very similar layout, that it has the teacher manual that gives you all the instructions for each day's teaching, and then the different concepts with those 2 different options for each day's work. And so I do like the 2 options. At the same time, it sometimes feels like you're paying for half the curriculum that you won't use. So something to keep in mind. But if you do have 2 children who are close in age, I mean, one could do the younger and one could do the older version. So then in that way, it is kind of saving you money. And most of the concepts, most of the activities in this curriculum is your social studies and your science. So it kind of goes back and forth if you do them in order. And then we use a separate math curriculum. We also used a separate handwriting curriculum and a separate phonics curriculum in kindergarten. My son was already reading a bit in kindergarten, so we used the suggested ABeCeDarian that was suggested to use with the Moving Beyond the Page. And I really liked this curriculum. It did have a lot of writing, which was hard for my son. So a lot of times I just had him circle the correct. But basically it gives you a sound of the day. So this day's sound was E, and it shows you the different ways that the E sound is made in words, and then they read each, and then over here they sort them by which spelling is used. They do a little more and a little review, and then underlining the parts of the word, the sound parts of the words. So there's lots of different activities to help reinforce, and there's review in this, and I thought this was a really solid curriculum. So we were very happy with this for our phonics curriculum to go with our Moving Beyond the Page. So I hope you found that helpful, and it's just a look at the 5 to 7 Moving Beyond the Page and a quick look at the ABeCeDarian phonics.